Hello, I'm doing a book review again. This time I'm going to try and make it quite quick because I don't want to misrepresent this guy. Uh, Nassim Taleb is far too smart, so I'm not going to say he's wrong. In fact, he's probably right in a lot of things, but needless to say, some of the stuff I've read in here I don't necessarily agree with, but it's a fantastic book to read, even so. And it's always worthwhile reading books or essays by people who have views you don't necessarily agree with. Now, Nassim came to prominence with his masterpiece called The Black Swan, talking about extreme outliers and how they occur more often than people realise. And he made a lot of money, apparently, using statistics and probability and realising that when things do go pear-shaped a lot more often than people realise, you can game the market and earn money. Now, in this particular book, he's talking about how people who have skin in the game, who risk things to earn a living, who are entrepreneurs, are necessarily better people to aspire to, and how most people should really try and become entrepreneurs. I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a role for corporate bods or bureaucrats, people who are steady and do their job diligently, and often they can earn or get rewards in terms of pension, steady job and house, whereas people who set up their own business like myself, we can often come unstuck. But his major point is entrepreneurs, especially those who manage to survive in the long run, have got a lot of information, a lot of good practice to pass on to other people. He also talks about good advice from years ago, particularly going back to the classics, Seneca or Cicero or whoever, Socrates. This type of advice, which has stood the passage of time, is worth 100 times more than advice given out willy-nilly now by new philosophers, new psychologists or whatever, because quite basically they've not stood the test of time and they may fail at the first major hurdle, another outlier. So he puts across his beliefs, and there's one particular belief he's got which I think I can quite agree with, is that he believes in a non-interventionist foreign policy, i.e. when Britain, America, big Western powers go and intervene in Iraq or in, I don't know, Afghanistan, they always make it worse. They don't really improve matters and they create problems for the future. And I can quite agree with him. Left to themselves, normally people will trade with other people and work out solutions with each other. Having said that, I hope that proves to be the case in Northern Ireland. Britain especially has interfered in Ireland over so many years. Maybe it is time we should get out. But that's another issue, and I'm sure other people will disagree with me. So, this book, I'm going to say, was a fantastic read. I didn't necessarily agree with everything he says, but there's a lot in there I can't argue with. He puts across his point so well. So, there's a book previous to this, I think it's called Unfragile, or if I can just look in the book, sometimes it will tell you the previous title. The previous title is probably one to get before this one, but if you've got it already, then I can recommend this book. Well, quickly looking shows how badly prepared I made this, but his previous book, I think it was called Unfragile. Certainly anything like by this writer, go out and grab, worth reading, and it will make you think, which is the main idea of a good book. So 9.5 out of 10 for this book. Well recommended.